Can you hear me? Yep. There we go. Good morning, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you may be. Haven't done that in a while. It looks like my stream is pretty strong, so should be able to keep this down. I'll have my phone up to see how the stream is going, if it's choppy or something. Let's see if I can get to my channel. Lives. Sweet. See how the stream is going, if it's choppy or something. Alright, cool. And now I can see the chat on the phone. Nice. No thanks. Well, I tried to open this up to convert it, but it looks like it's not really working right now. Let's see. Show more options, switch version, and I didn't get an error message or anything. It just didn't do anything. It's kind of weird. Did it for each of the other upgrades to like 5.3. But the upgrade from
render settings and
from 5.3 to the next didn't go. So let's see. Yeah, I'll just load it in 5.3. Following are missing different version. Oh, okay, I get it. I already switched it, and so advanced sessions and advanced Steam sessions. Rebuild them now? No. Would you like to proceed anyway? Code and content that depends on these. Enter at your own risk. Go with yes. Alright, it's been a little while since I've converted the version, so apparently you just right-click, go show more options, and then switch the version, and then go and open it up. So instead of y'all looking at my massively unorganized desktop, I'm just going to throw everything into this folder that I call desktop. Plugin list. Sure, we'll replace it. All right, the plan is to mess around with the shade. Now that we've got Nanite landscape and Nanite foliage, we can go ahead and do that. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be fun. I'll load up Discord here. Put the link over on Discord to the stream. Channel and go to it. Mute myself. There we go. There we go. general. Sweet. And we'll throw it on LinkedIn. Why not? Let's see if I can just find my profile. I'll modify this. And go with edit post. Good enough. Just in case the other link doesn't work. Should work. I don't know, that's the first time posting a link on here. Alright, well, that's good. Good enough. Close that. Close that. Don't need that anymore. And then shouldn't need that in order to keep it going. Hey, what's up? I don't know how to specifically pronounce the name. Azikins or Aaron? We'll stay Aaron. Failed to load because module, yeah, I get that. You already warned me about that. Oh, well, fudge you. I think what I'm gonna do and go in here and modify this real quick to be open with 5.3. Then I'll launch it. I'm going to turn off the Steam session stuff because I think that's depreciated or just completely removed now because they're trying to go with only OpenXR or something, maybe. Or no, I think that's a thing I have to install after the fact. Yeah. Yeah, that's something I have to install into the engine after the fact. So let me go ahead and install that. I don't think they have it on the Unreal Engine Marketplace, considering they're competitors. But we'll see. Steam Party? No. Achievements, packaging. Well, realistically, Steam should do that. They should put it on here rather than us having to go to their website or whatever and find it. Unreal Engine, Steam, add and sessions, plugin. That's where I just was. All right, let's menu, plugin, you can view it here. It's the example project. Fully expect that plugin download. Advanced session. Yeah, there we go. I always forget where exactly it wants me to put this. Thank you, KekDot. This person, this channel, show me what I'm doing. Config. No, I think I'm supposed to actually put it inside the plugins folder. Engine source, third party, Steamworks, Steam version SDK. No, that's not it. Never went to the directory before. No. How would I go? Yeah, I'll just go to my 5.3 directory, see program files, Epic Games, 5.3, engine, plugins, and I have to actually be marketplace is where I actually put it. Yeah. Hmm. Just be plugins. Oh wait, and then marketplace. Right, marketplace, and then no, that's not it. Online. Nope. What I'm trying to do is install advanced advanced sessions. I'm trying to switch over, so advanced sessions here, the advanced sessions plugin. Actually, it's here on this channel, or this link. Allows you to create. It allows you to get online for Steam. Oh, there we go. Project folder, plugins. Oh, I can just do it inside the project folder plugins and then just advanced sessions. But I just want it to work in general for anything that I use. So I'm going to copy this and place it into my plugins folder. So that should work. Hopefully. Yeah. Well, that's for Unreal Engine 5.3. I don't care about that. Engine plugins. There we go. Let's try it now. Close that and go to the folder. Switch the version to 5.4. No and no. I'm gonna load up just a project and then enable it in the, like, check and see if it's actually in the engine yet. Should be showing up. Let's see. So I was going with Titus. And I'll go ahead and pronounce it that way since they're since the creators came out and said that it's pronounced Titus, not Titus. Unfortunately. Plugins and add and sessions right there. And Steam sessions. So that should work. So we'll go ahead and just try loading it up right after. I'll close it right after this. Close that since it's now on. I'll try reopening this. Sure. Let's say yes. Could not compile. No, and yes. Plugin advanced session failed to load because module advanced session could not be found. That's weird. Config. And then if I go to, how do you disable plugins? Pretty sure it should probably be in like default engine or something. No, wait, no, that's not where it's gonna be. Why are you freaking out? It's not a difficult thing to do. Oh, that's why. Because I opened up an FBX. It's Word. Or with Notepad. Turn layouts, config, content, platform plugins? No. Well, advanced sessions is right here. Oh, that's why. I need to delete it out of there because that's the wrong version. That's probably all I have to do, honestly. Yep, there we go. That's because the old version was sitting right here and it wasn't valid for the new version of Unreal Engine 5. You pronounce it correctly, haha, yeah. It's going weird, to be honest. Yuna and Titus were the first ones I did, and after working on Lulu for so long, I got better at sculpting human detail better. So now looking at my Titus, he isn't up to my new standard. No muscle bone detail at all. I want to just restart him, but for now I'll just get his model animation ready so he can be used for map scaling. I'm curious why wouldn't you, for like the very human looking people characters, why wouldn't you just use metahuman? It's already set up, like rigged, boned, everything, and so you don't have to do as much work. Like when I, this will probably take a little while for it to load. Let's get in the queue. Unreal Engine MetaHuman. Oops, MetaHuman Creator. So all I had to do, and let's see, what version was I using when I did that? I know I wasn't using that. I'm not sure if it lets you look at old versions of whatever you're looking at, whatever you messed with. Close that, open that. Whoa, my camera went fast. Honestly, there's not as much twinkling with the Lumen right now as it was a couple of versions ago when I was messing around with this. It's like, well, I'm gonna slow this down. It's a lot clearer. It's nice. All right. So I'm all the way north at Xanarkin. So I'm gonna go ahead and fly on over to the other side. And this is this height map and everything was created based on the map from the airship, by the way. No, knew that from before. This is all of the original assets just plopped down, and then I can kind of move things around and get it just right. It looks like this part is like skewed a little bit from where it was supposed to be. Yeah, it's supposed to be like right there or so. Mm. Come on, MetaHuman Creator. I find it hard to get the MetaHuman models to fit the Final Fantasy look. Well, the nice thing is you can use the mesh itself. You can just take the mesh from the Final Fantasy game, and then you just put it through the MetaHuman Creator plugin and everything, and it'll make like the pictures that I had before. And it's probably even better now. But yeah, you just go through that and dev updates. I think I may have, yeah, right here. So these are pretty close. I get that it's far too realistic, probably, but you can probably change that using the like change up the um no, honestly, Wakas are pretty good. I think it's mainly the lighting. I like this is all taken like the picture on the left is all taken straight from MetaHuman Creator. So Titus looks completely weird. And Riku a little weird too. Yuna so. I don't know. Orin's honestly looks the best. Orin and maybe Waka, probably the best. I think her jawline needs to be more straight, but I think it's probably just the angle more so than anything. Or maybe it's probably that this model here is like the facial structure is slightly different than the PS2 like low poly version, and that's the problem. Same with um, same with this one. Same with all of them, honestly. This he just looks like a character from Pixar. It's kind of funny. Is this ever gonna load? Anyway, um, yeah, I was gonna go ahead and get into here. So I'll set this to so. Yeah, cool. I'm just gonna keep an eye on this because usually when I'm editing the terrain, it'll mess up like crazy. Like it'll increase my video RAM, my VRAM usage. You know, I'm just gonna move it a little bit because that makes more sense than to have to resculpt every. We got this train back here. So selection, select this, and realign it there because that's better. And then I'll just resculpt this, which isn't too bad. Flatter stuff is a little bit less work. And yeah. Oh, I think I was wanting to. Hmm, um, actually want to check and make sure that when I load in my Oceanology, yeah, Oceanology's in. Let's go make sure that Oceanology is unloaded and then load it in. Because there's a mess up with Oceanology where it there was a version that came out when you when you brought the new version in, anything that you added straight from the plugins folder wouldn't work, and the game would crash. So now you have to add using the all classes, and then just type in Oceanology, and then you type in, we get infinite ocean. You can go ahead and put that at 0. Should work. Fingers crossed. Okay. Now let's go ahead and try to find Oceanology, the infinite. There it is. Where's my Oceanology? Hmm. I haven't been having good luck with uncontrolled, unsaved. Hmm. I have not been having good luck with this map and putting Oceanology back into it. For some reason, it just doesn't like Oceanology very much. Now I'm just going to be waiting for it to save. Eventually, this will load. Version selection. More than a couple minutes, come on. Yep, it's using up all my memory just to try to save these assets. Hmm. trying to think of a way. I'm thinking I should probably. Ooh, it dropped down. Why? Is it not done? I'm thinking I should probably switch the map. I'm always wondering what the best course of action is to get a large open world and have enough detail, because you can only have like your landscapes can only be a certain size, right? A certain resolution. And so in order to get a 25 kilometer by 25 kilometer map, which is the size of Spira, you can't have the resolution. I need to sneeze. You can't have the resolution. Where's my pause? Or mute? False alarm, maybe? I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, you can't have too much. Alright, this is kind of dying down. A lot of my time has been just waiting for the stuff to load. I'm just gonna get rid of you. And I don't need you anymore. Don't need you. Alright, I was gonna try to get Nanite landscapes working, so whenever this, I don't even think this has moved at all. I feel like I should just close Unreal Engine at this point, because it just seems like it's crashing. Should be Nanite displaced mesh. There. Alright, cool. So I've got this plugin now. Coming up. And then with this, there's a setting in the on the left here. Oh, close that. I don't need you. Go away. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead, go to content, and should be maps, and then that's main menu. I'm gonna go and make another map, and it's gonna be called level underscore Spira. There. Need my lights, need a directional light, need a skylight. I need sky, atmosphere. Sky, atmosphere. And then, come on. Visual effects, sky, atmosphere, volumetric cloud. And then exponential fog height. Yeah. And then there you go. Yay. I think that's all I have to do. It was usually that you had to go into one of these and then like, I don't know. It seems like it's working just fine, so if I have to, I'll add it later. Mm. Go back to here, and there should be Sphere map backup. How? This seems pretty smooth, so this should be the whole Sphere map. Nice and smooth and whatnot. So I'll go ahead and import this landscape. And I want import from file. Find it located in here. Sphere backup map. Control A. No. I always have a hard time, like, if someone could possibly tell me my last message error for some reason, I would have thought we would have done each FFX zone as a different level so we could add more detail. I wanted to have it fully open world so that you could take the boat and just go all the way from one side to the next to the other. And we could section it off and make so that you have to teleport, but I like I've always wished that you could just fly from one end to the other. I just thought that would be so cool. I forget what scale. I forget if I had to scale it up any higher than the 100. I think I did. In order to get it to 25. Just try it out. If I have to scale it, I'll just scale it here in a minute. And see, and this one's actually smoothed already, so unlike the other one, which is not smooth. Let's go see how this shade over here looks. Yeah, every teleport location does have its own levels and stuff. Um, and but I just I don't know. Being able to just keep on sailing, like you literally see out there and you're like, I want to go there. And then you just fly over there and you're like, sweet, I'm there. I want to fly all the way over to here. You just go. That's just really cool to me. And it really shows off what Unreal Engine's capable of. But the problem right here that I'm having is that when we make it of this size, this is the problem we get, where the map isn't super high resolution. I wonder if that can be kind of corrected using nanite tessellation. Maybe. I doubt it. I don't think it's magic. It needs a little bit more. Just gonna real quick save this. Hopefully it doesn't take forever. Cool, didn't. I can go to, it's not level prototyping. Cities. Original models. Let's say Ireland. And see, even with this is actually not the correct size of the world. Because this should be 1-to-1. If I take a character and just plop them in, let's see, third person. Yeah, see, we plop a third-person character in. That's pretty much the exact size you want, right? That character could realistically go inside these objects. It'd be fine. So I need to scale it up even larger than this. And click Save All. I'm gonna load up the other map and see what scale I had to bump it up to. I think it was in... I was thinking it was the third person map that I loaded it into. See what you're saying. Out of curiosity, have you tested how long it takes to run from one side of something to another? Beside, for example, docks to the village. Depending on what those low resolution areas are, it can be masked with mesh. If it's a cliff edge, we just mesh up some cliff faces. Oh, are you meaning like because of the low resolution mesh or the terrain? I'm thinking just using um, nanite meshes for the cliff side and stuff. And the scale I had it at 500, so I'll go 500, 500, and then 800. So let's go back and load 558. I think they actually changed the way they do landscapes now. Because that used to be like you click on the landscape and then you have a breakdown. Or is it because I'm not in... Oh, yeah, it seems like they changed the way you... So I had to actually make a new landscape because of that. Anyway, 500. Let's see how this goes. Let's see if it crashes my computer. Ah, it's doing fine. Let's see. Well, that was quick. I think the 800 was a bit much. Maybe. Yeah, it's a bit much. Because this should fit just fine. Time to change it. 400? Depending on what the low resolution areas are, it can be masked with mesh if it's edge. Problem with Nanite I see though is that the engine might make it plausible to run with millions of tries. On one cliff, for example, it doesn't reduce its file size. If you make a whole map with it, file size will be beyond huge. What my plan is to create a bunch of not necessarily nanite meshes, so high resolution meshes that have the detail enough to know, okay, cool, that's a rock, great, awesome, and then use nanite materials to add the detail when you get closer to it. And so it's playing the magic game between, okay, how much detail do I want up close, and then far away, I don't need the detail, and we won't use nanite in the material anymore because it's far away, right? Let's see, where can I place this? And this was, yeah. Now, this was part of the problem. It's so low resolution in this area. Like, it's perfectly fine for something that's like a lot flatter, like Mihan High Road, or perhaps, well, even then, even this area, it ends up just being a rough outline kind of thing where you're really just using nanite meshes for everything. So I'm thinking what I was wanting to do is let's get our Oceanology in. Hopefully it'll actually work now. Okay. So Oceanology is in. We get Oceanology in, and then I want to make sure that it actually loads properly. With it loaded, it'll then take into account each of the, like if I have just a high detailed landscape that's right here, and that landscape, only that high detailed landscape loads whenever we come close to it, and then the low detailed landscape is still there underneath of it, just as a representation, perhaps. That's this area right here. All right, there we go. I want the cliff side because I know that I do have the cliff side sized correctly. So I can just place this over here, and then the cliff side should be, yeah, it needs to go smaller. Maybe a little too small. Yeah, it's a little too small. Yeah, that's right. And then that flat plane is where the Oceanology should be sitting. Let's raise it up till it gets there. Right about there. And it doesn't believe in order to use Oceanology properly, you have to load up. Let's see. You have to. I know that you have to have the water volume, and that's what actually tells the engine, hey, treat this like it's water so that you can swim. And whatnot. Now the trouble that we're running into is is when I'm like the waves are too tall because it's not actually knowing that this is here. And so there's a map, or I couldn't really get it to work properly before. Let's try going to their YouTube channel. Or no, it wasn't on a YouTube channel, it was their Discord. And they were explaining it in a... This is it. They're explaining it in a tutorial. Ocean tutorials. It was multiple landscapes. See? So this is the cool part, is being able to use multiple landscapes. That's what I want to do. Yeah. So he's using the RBT actor. Okay. It'd be great if he was actually speaking. Oceanology RVT height map. Okay, where do I find that? Environment. No. Apps presets? Ocean. No. Am I going to be able to find where it is quickly? There. Ocean. And then I don't see an RVT. Let's type in RVT. RVT, where are you? Hmm.
Revelations. He's playing on Discord, and today we're going to actually go back over the RVT system since there was a huge change in Oceanology 5.2. It actually simplifies everything and makes it way easier. So in order to get this set up properly, so you have all the basis that you need for doing all your RVT, we're going to go ahead and just redo this from scratch. This is going to work exactly the same on what you already have on whatever project that you're working on. But this will also just go back over just setting up RVTs completely for the people that are just starting to do this as well, so that we can have a full basis. I'll put in a chapter menu down the bottom so you can go ahead and skip to wherever you are in your project. So the first thing we're going to do is I am using Brushify here, and I just made a base landscape just so we can see everything working. And we're going to go ahead and set up the RVTs for the landscape first, so that we can see how they differentiate out, since this is Brushify and it's going to use its own RVT system. And we're going to have the Oceanology using its own so that they're separated. So let's go ahead and get started right now. The first thing we're going to do is I already have the landscape here, and I already have the material added into the landscape for Brushify. This is just the Brushify 2041 material. I haven't made any changes on it, just added a couple textures so you can see where the lines. So now we're going to go ahead and start adding in our RVTs. If we go into the volumes, we have our runtime virtual texture volume right here on the bottom, and we're going to go ahead and drop one of those in, and you'll see we get this little plane here. The first thing I like to do on these, if you watch me, you will know this, as I'm going to go ahead and zero it out so that it's right there in the middle, 0, 0, 0, 0. And we need to add into our landscape, so we have our runtime virtual texture volume up here. We're going to go ahead and rename that. We're going to rename that one to RVT, and this one is going to be our height underscore, whoops, didn't mean to do that. This will be RVT underscore height, just like that. And we're going to go into our landscape first, and we're going to see if we go down here to the bottom, to the virtual textures. You're going to get draw in virtual textures. We're going to click that twice because we're going to add 2 of them. And the first one that we're going to add is going to be, we're going to use the Brushify one. So if you highlight them, you'll see here where it says Game Brushify Materials. This one is going to be our height on the top one. And the bottom one, we will do the landscape. So now we have both of those set up.
And the problem I'm having now, and this is the problem I had before, is he's using Brushify to create his landscape. I'm not. I just created something within here, and within Unreal, and I don't get what he's doing. I think I'll probably have to look at another tutorial that actually has something to do with creating RPTs. That we actually know how to create, because I need to get the height map of my landscape. Right now, that's black. That's not the height map I need, right? So I need to go back to here. We'll go to YouTube and look for 5 RVT landscape RVT. How to blend objects, materials. Which one do I want to do? Let's see. I'll try this one.
Cool. Yeah, I just wanted to give you some feedback that I've been noticing. One of them is just replying to Cheryl's emails.
Hi, welcome to Game Dev Academy. I'm Shane, and in today's class we're going to take a look at how you can add assets like rocks, etc. to your landscape in Unreal Engine and not have it look like arse. What we have here are two identical setups. So they're both very small landscapes with the exact same material applied and then two Megascans assets. And literally all I've done is this one was the original. I duplicated it over here, and this is the one with what we have called runtime virtual texturing applied to it. And I want to just highlight what this does before I show you how to do it. So if we have a look here, let me just go right to this bit here. This is where these two assets join. And you can see that it's really noticeable that I've just stuck two together that don't really belong together. However, over here, this is exactly the same, remember? We don't have that same problem because this sand texture here is blending into the material used on the rock, and it's making a much more believable group of actions. So you've got this bit here, if you can see my cursor on screen, that kind of really sticks out. But here, it's still there, but the colouring of it's changed again in order to get it to blend in better. You need to do, and I actually fell foul of this. I spent about half an hour trying to work out why it wasn't working for me. We need to turn it on in the project settings. So the way that we do this is if we go to Edit, Project Settings, and then this window pops up. And if you just search for Virtual, and then there's a section here for virtual textures and enable virtual texture support. Make sure that you tick that.
Hooray, and now I'll just have to restart the engine. See, the other tutorial here did not talk about enabling it in the plug. Oh, nope. He talks about it way over here, actually. Enabling virtual textures. But like way over here, I don't know. I would imagine you should talk about that first. Just be like, here are your prerequisites. Yeah, thanks.
Originally, mine wasn't enabled, and so it wasn't working. So that's step one. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll go to a fresh level so you can see me setting this up from scratch.
Keep going for about 30 more minutes and I'll start wrapping things up.
I've just got this set up. So if we just do this really quickly. So if we go for, I think it's called sand. Yep. So let's apply this sand material that I got from Megascans to the landscape. Lovely. And we need the rock that I also downloaded. Where's that? Here it is, the tie beach rock. And we're just going to plop that there, and we're just going to get it so that it intersects. And actually, I'm going to go a little bit bigger as well, just so that we can see what we're doing. So we've now got these two meshes intersecting. That ought to do it. So you can see we've got these hard, ugly edges here, and that's what we need to work on. Okay, to do that then, we need to create two what are called runtime virtual textures. So if I just get rid of this search thing here, and we go into the content folder, which I believe I'm in. Yep, and you can see that I've already got two runtime virtual textures set up for the other level. So we're going to set these up for this level as well to make sure this works. So what we'll do for that is just right click in here, go to textures, and we're going to create a runtime virtual texture. Okay, we're going to call one RVT underscore, and this one's going to be environment, and I'm just going to put environment 2 so that I know this is the different one for me. So that's one of them set up, and then we're going to create another. So let's go in there, and RVT underscore height. Oh, height 2, there we go. And then we need to open this height one up, so we just double click on it. And what we need to do is tell this that it is just the height one. So this little drop down box here, virtual texture content, you can see that there's one here for world height. So we just need to change that and then click on save. And then we can close this window, on this tab rather. And that is our two RVT, runtime virtual textures set up. Okay, the next step is to now create two runtime virtual texture volumes, and this works together with those textures to give us the effect that we want. And it also tells it where we are kind of sampling the texture from. In this case, it's going to be the sand on the landscape. So we need to get that set up. So we're going to click up here, which is the add button, and then I'm just going to start typing runtime. And then you can see that it suggests runtime virtual texture volume. So we'll click on that. So now with that created, we can go into the details tab here, and this is the eyedropper tool, and we're just going to click on that, which is pick actor from scene, and we're going to select the landscape like so. And you can see landscape now appears here, which is what we want, which means that the bounds align actor is that. And we also need to just tell it which one this is going to work for. So we'll go for the environment first, so RVT underscore environment. And now we can click on this set bounds button. And you'll see that now this volume has changed size to match the size of the landscape. Now we need to repeat this again. So let's go to here. We'll start typing runtime, create a new volume. We are going to select the landscape again. Then we are going to select the height. So RVT underscore height. And click on set bounds. So that's now starting to pull all this information together. Okay, with that done, now what we need to do is make some changes to our landscape material. So what we need to do for that is we're just going to click on the landscape, and if we scroll down we can see that the landscape material is here. I'll double click on this and we can see it's an instance. So then I'm going to double click here, which is this master surface that it gives us when we use Megascans. So this is kind of how it starts, and we can just close that one there.
I'm your overly competitive brother. I'm ready for a rematch.
Here, take a free shot. Go ahead.
Okay, so you can see what this does is comes out into a material attributes node, and we're just going to move that over a little bit, make some space. And then we need to just get these material attributes. So if we come out of result here and we go for get material attributes, awesome. And then we need to add a few channels to this. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. And we want base color to be the first one. The next one we're going to have as specular. So I'm going to change that down here. And then we need a roughness. So we'll have roughness third. And the last one's going to be normal. Brilliant. Specular will go into specular. And roughness will go into roughness. But we just need to change the normal from tangent space to world space. And if we just drag out of here and type transform, like so, and by default it'll do what we need it to do. So it's going to be tangent space to world space, and then we can just put that into normal. And we will convert this back later, but for now that's what we need to do. We also need to get the absolute world position. So if we start typing world position, create a new node there, and we need to mask this. So we're going to type component because it's a component mask, like so. And what's important about this is that we do it on the blue channel. So it gives you RGB channels, but they can also be width, height and depth. So we're going to turn off the width and height and turn on the depth, which is the blue channel in this case. And we're going to plug that into our world height. And that prepares this material to pass on its information to whichever other material comes into contact with it. So we can now save that. Brilliant, that's all saved. And now we just need to go back into here, make sure that we select our landscape, and we're going to scroll down and we are looking for, where is it? The virtual texture section here. We're going to add 2 array elements. And now we need to add these 2 runtime virtual textures that we created. So in my case, it's going to be RVT underscore environment 2 and RVT underscore height 2. For you, it will just be environment or height. And what's kind of important at this stage is that you're seeing these previews pop up. If you don't, it means you might not have it enabled, which was my issue. So make sure you can see something popping up here. Okay, now we've got that done, we just need to make some changes to the material for the rock. So let's click on that, find the material for it. Let's scroll up here. So here's the material. I'll just open that, scroll down, and here's the default material. So this is different textures set up. Virtual texture volumes, and this works together with those textures to give us the effect that we want to get that set up. Just runtime virtual texture. And we're just going to here's here, which is what RVT. Start typing runtime, create a new volume. We are going to select the landscape again. Then we are going to select the height, so RVT underscore height 2, and click on set bounds. So that's now starting to pull all this information together. Okay, with that done, now what we need to do is make some changes to our landscape material. So what we need to do for that is we're just going to click on, and now we just need to go back into here. Make sure that we select our landscape, and we're going to scroll down and we are looking for, where is it? The virtual texture section here. We're going to add 2 array elements. And now we need to add these 2 runtime virtual textures that we created. So in my case, it's going to be RVT underscore environment 2 and RVT underscore height 2. For you, it will just be environment or height. And what's kind of important at this stage is that you're seeing these previews pop up. If you don't, it means you might not have it enabled, which was my issue. So make sure you can see something popping up here. Okay, now we've got that done, we just need to make some changes to the material for the rock. So let's click on that, find the material for it. Let's scroll up here.
And they will correspond to the RVTs that we have here. So if we click on our RVT height, we are going to use the virtual texture RVT height. And then we're going to, once we have that set up, we can save it real quick. Control-Shift-S to save. Now we can select our landscape. So we're going to go in here, select our landscape, and we're going to set the bounds. And then you'll see that the bounds will click directly to the boxes that we have here. And just make sure that they are set. Head back in We're going to Control D to duplicate it, and we're going to name this one RVT Landscape. And there we go, RVT Landscape. And the only thing we're going to change on this one is we're going to go into our RVT virtual textures here and select the landscape. Perfect. So now if we turn on the virtual textures, and we can actually do the streaming also. I'm not going to build the streaming for this one. You can do that. At any time that you want. I'm just going to get
That kind of tripped me up right there. I had myself muted for a little bit. Kind of tripped me up there for a second because when you fix up redirectors before, it would just say fix redirectors, but now it just says update redirectors instead of fix. So it's, yeah, different. This also looks different. But anyway.
the RVT on and working so that we can see that it is working. So if we go back into our landscape, we can go ahead here to our material instance. I just double click here on the material instance to bring it out. And then we can scroll down to where we see RVT, which will be right here. All we have to do is check it and turn it on. There we go. And if the RVTs are not set properly, you're actually going to see the world change into like different colors, or it could go completely black, stuff like that.
I'm curious if I have a landscape material that landscape stamps, Dead Hills landscape, spring landscape. We'll try spring. Yeah, we'll just try spring because I can actually just add that to the height maps, global distance fields, distance tesselation, Fresnel. Height-based layer blending. Cool. So I've got something. I'll try using this. So I'll add it to my project here. Add to project. Okay. Add to the project eventually. While that's going,
and that works. One of the big ones that I did forget to mention, though, is that we do want to go not into our plugins.
Yeah, that's
we
huge.
want to go into our project settings, and you can go into. We can just type in runtime virtual textures. Is this the one? And if you go into rendering, you can go down to the virtual textures here, and you'll see this one, the very first one currently. Perfect. So, and now we can go ahead and add in our Ocean. Let's go ahead and get that started. So if we go into our plugins, in and get our water line where we want it. About right there looks good. So right now you'll see that it's not loading in completely, and that's just because we need to save it. So I like to actually do this first so you can look at your water line and get an idea where you want it to be. And then if you Control Shift Save, you'll see it come in like so. But currently we don't have any foam because the foam is actually running on the RVTs. So what we can do now is go ahead and set that one up. And we're going to go into our quick add here. And this one we're going to go into all classes and just type in RVT. Oh, that's not RVT. And you're going to see one here called Oceanology RVT height map. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go into our quick add here. And this one we're going to go into all classes and just type in RVT. Oh, that's not RVT. And you're going to see one here called Oceanology RVT height map. We're going to go ahead and click that one to bring that one out. And once again on this one, we're going to 0 it so it's in the middle.
So I don't have that. Do I have to update my Oceanology plugin? Ocean. Oh wait. Oceanology. Install to engine. All has installed to Ocean or in. This is saying 5.2 and on here it's 5.1.5. I'm probably gonna end the stream a little bit, just a little bit early. Go eat and stuff, and get on their Discord, which I already got up right here. I'm gonna ask some questions. Project tutorials. Yeah, I don't have permissions to post inside here, so I'll just community process. General? Sure. Question. No question. I'll try searching for RVT. Equal Oceanology manager. Lovely. So they changed the name, but nobody updated that. So Oceanology and then it's manager. Cool. Now we'll go back to the tutorial. Yay.
In general, my style is about leaving in the crumbs and the messes, but sometimes there's little things that should.
And the first setup we have to do, so if we go into our landscape, we're going to notice that we have these two RVTs that we added. This is the RVTs for Brushify. Once we go into our Oceanology RVT height map, we're going to get a bunch of settings here. And the first one we're going to do is we're going to set up our landscape. Once we set up the landscape, oops, I'm sorry, we have to select the landscape. Go ahead, select the landscape. So we can't set the bounds yet, I don't think. I believe it has to be set up first. So the first thing we're going to do is go to Bounds Line Actor, select the landscape, then go to Set Up Landscape, and then you should see this. Now if you go into your landscape here, and you go back down to...
I'll wait till I get the okay. That it's finished. Next one. Save often.
To your RVTs, you're going to see that you're going to have a third one. This is the one that we're going to
So if I go to my landscape, I'll have a third one. Yay, I have a third one.
We're running for the Oceanology. Okay. So now if we go back up to the RVT, now we should be able to set the bounds on the
Manager.
volume that we have here. So if we set bounds, now you'll see that it goes where it should be,
Okay.
and it should match the other RVTs that we already have in the map. So you can see they're Z fighting, so they're exactly on top of each other. That's exactly what we want. So that part's done. Now comes the easy part. So this has been changed and made so much better. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to change our build levels to 4. And you'll see your texture size that's being produced. We're just doing a 512. You can go as high as you want, but it does get pretty expensive. 512 seems to work just fine. So our next one, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to save our height map out. Because if you go into your landscape here and we go back into this one, you can see we have this one here, but now we have to save it so that it can be used in Oceanology. So we're going to go ahead and save our height map. And I have these two here. I'm going to name these different because these are for the main map that we're working on right now. So we'll do this. This will be RVT map, height map, and this will be RVT map because that's the one that I named this. And that works just fine. Perfect. Now we can go ahead and bake out the SDF. And we'll do the same thing here. Underscore RVT map. So we know which one's which. And now for the fun to get set up, we're just going to go ahead and set up the water. I think we needed to set the min-max first and then set up the water. It doesn't matter really. It still works. So now you can actually see we already got foam. And it was actually that easy just to get your foam in there. So the foam is actually just right on the edge. You can just barely see it. But now we can go in to the Oceanology itself and go into our RVT actor here, and all we got to do is just bring up our depth here to add the foam in. And it's that easy compared to how it was previously. It's just a few clicks and now it's done. And you can still mess with these parameters if you need to change anything, but for now you just have your foam system here and your depth for your mask and everything as well. And this will be RVT map because that's perfect. Now we can go ahead.
I'm confused. Set bounds. It already has the bounds. And I want... It does... Yeah, I don't have an bake SDF. Whereas he does. So I don't know why.
Go ahead and bake out the SDF. And we'll do the same thing here. Underscore RVT map. So we know which one's which. And now for the fun to get set up, we're just going to go ahead and set up the water. I think we needed to set the min-max first and then set up the water. It doesn't matter really. It still works. So now you can actually see we already got foam. And it was actually that easy just to get your foam in there. So the foam is actually just right on the edge. You can just barely see it. But now we can go in to the Oceanology itself and go into our RVT actor here. And all we got to do is just bring up our depth here to add the foam in. And it's that easy compared to how it was previously. It's just a few clicks and now it's done. And you can still mess with these parameters if you need to change anything. But for now, you just have your foam system here. And your depth for your mask and everything as well. And that is all there is to setting up the RVT on that one. So, yeah. And I do want to say one last thing. So tomorrow's the last day of the Oceanology giveaway contest. At 6:30, I'm going to go ahead and shut that video down and start tallying all the names and everything. So if you haven't signed up yet, now's the time. So there's only, well, there's about 24 hours left at my time right now. So go ahead and do that. And definitely give us a like if you like this video. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Here on the waterfall, had to change a couple parameters in the lake here to get it to flow in the right direction. It was a little bit on the offset. You can actually change the offset in the
Wow, I've been muted this whole time. I'm trying to look on their Discord really quick. See if there's the SDF thing while Unreal Engine starts to hopefully respond at some point. I'm probably just gonna end the stream here while I look this up, and if I can't find the answer, I'll just shoot a message into the questions area. All right, have a morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. You may be. Next stream I'll actually have music going, as I usually do. Hopefully I'll stream a lot more often.